So at this point we say, well, that's cool. Do you have a demo that actually could do this? So I'm going to go and show you how testRigor does this and creates plain English. I've got a testRigor add-on that I'm going to start with a new recording, and it's going to record this description, the test step CandyMapper demo, and this is what the steps are going to look like. Enter hello into an enter message, submit, click, press on submit, and we'll walk that through. And by the way, you can put into all sorts of different types of test suites, and this one I'm going to be putting into my CandyMapper prod. So let's hit the start new recording, and we're going to start recording right from this particular site here, the CandyMapper. The first thing is we have a pop-up challenge. We're going to just go and close the pop-up, and the next thing is step 2, we're going to click on get in touch. The third step is we're going to put in my name, Paul, and then I'm going to click send. Now send is going to generate a message because we didn't actually put in an email address, a valid email address. And that's what I want to validate that actually popped up. So I'm going to put in my email address, thedarkartswizard@gmail.com. And I'll even put in a message in there. Hello, testRigor. We'll put that in there. And I'm going to click on send. And the next thing I want to do is validate that I actually got a message that said, thank you for your inquiry. We will be back with you in 48 hours. That's all my test is. We've done a positive and a negative test. I'm going to stop my recording now and take a look at what got generated. Under here you can see, well, we closed that pop-up, but we had some interesting little weird stuff that popped up in there. We'll get back to that in just a moment. We're going to go and click on get in touch, so it picked up on that. We're going to enter Paul into name, click on the send, and then we clicked on please enter a valid email address. Now I don't really want to click on it. What I want to do is to check page contains. We'll do that, and in fact I'm going to take a copy of that because I may need that in someplace else. All right, and then we're going to go enter my email into the email. We're going to enter in hello testRigor into message, click on send, and then again our last step is to verify that we saw this information. Cool. Let's going to add that and then run it. We have a new test case created, and we're going to watch it execute as it goes along. We'll add and run. We'll go over to testRigor, and we see that we have a test case that's been added, and the test is beginning, and so we have a question mark indicating that we haven't taken any screen captures as of yet. There is our pop-up, and we're clicking on the description of the pop-up. It clears and then starts taking screen captures as we go along just to do our validations. Notice I can click on get in touch, and this will give us a large image and a purple outline indicating which element it actually clicked. And as we go through the test, we can see that it's completed all the way to the end and even validated that there is text on the screen. Cool. Now there's a couple things we need to do to modify this test case. I'm going to go and edit the test case. And the first thing is that pop-up. This isn't all that descriptive. So what I'm going to do is I am going to replace that. We're going to say in plain English, click the first button on the right top of the pop-up challenge. And by the way, if you hit my website twice on the browser, the second time it won't come up. So I'm going to say if exists. Now the last trick I want to do is I would like to have my email generate a random number of numbers each time it runs. Let's say about 10 of those. Now to do this, we just simply go over to the help, and a sample of the code to do this is actually listed right here. Generate by regex, and you just need to know 2 or 3 little regex tricks. This is creating a string that is a random lowercase letters or numbers, and then we want to do it 30 times. So this creates one random character. 30 times over. I'm only going to want 10. And it is using a backslash, and that is basically telling that the @ sign is a special character, not to interpret it as a regex. Same thing with the period over here. It's saying don't interpret that as a dot, interpret that as a literal period. And we can even save this out as a variable, but for this demo purposes, we're not going to need to do that. So let me go back over to our script, and I'm going to replace this line here with our version, and we'll walk that through. It's going to say generate by regex the dark arts wizard. That's my email. Here is a plus sign, which is also another regular expression, so we're going to escape it. We're going to create random numbers from 0 through 9. We're going to make 10 of those, and we're going to do it to my Gmail account and then enter that into the email field. Let's upload that and give it another Reese test and see what happens. Right, it's right now trying to figure out what is where that little pop-up is going to be dealt with. We needed to, remember, close that upper right-hand corner up there, and it figured it out. It said, yeah, I know exactly what you're looking for, and it got that little square. So that is in plain English. Pretty cool. And the other item we want to do is take a look at our email. So there's our email. We'll open it up, and let's take a little look at that. And sure enough, it has created our email with random numbers inside of it. Again, plain English for creating our emails. There's some other areas we might want to take a look at and see if they're actually supported inside of testRigor. Like, could you take all of your sentences, if they're doing the same thing over and over again, like a login or getting an item from a cart, could you put them into reusable components? And absolutely, it's called rules up there, but you can take your rules and reuse them and call them in multiple test cases. So let's say you had a login for an admin, and that admin's username or password happens to change. You just change it in the subroutine, in the rule, and every test that calls it will actually go out and reuse and log in with the new account. You don't have to change everything that's in there. It's always, that reusable design is always a good thing to have in your automation framework. Grabbing values and saving them off in a variable and then reusing them somewhere else. That's just basically variable use. Extracting out values based on a regular expression. You can actually send emails and check emails in the cloud. It'll go out to a server and then go validate what it received. One of the other ones I wanted to mention is that relative element location. Now that is actually already part of Selenium. It just got introduced in Selenium 4 last year. However, UFT has had it for almost 7 years inside of its application. And guess what? testRigor has it as well. You can see the descriptions that you can use in the middle of a screen, to the left, to the right, second from the bottom. One other item I'm going to put in there is that you can also generate today's date, yesterday's date, tomorrow's, all sorts of different ways of putting in dates and hours and minutes based on what your test case requires. All right, I hope you enjoyed that demo and some of the features of testRigor. We're going to get on with our presentation, but if you do want to know more about that, check out testRigor at testRigor.com.